Hello, I am Shannon Doleski. I am the author of Mary Underwater, which comes out April 7th from Abrams Amulet Books. And today I am going to read the second chapter for you. I read chapter 1 the other day, and that was a long one. This one's really short. And first it starts with a little excerpt of Joan of Arc, which I'm excited to share with you. There are 5 Joan of Arc biography type things in this, and then we go into Mary. So right now at home, take a second to try to remember what happened in chapter 1. Maybe you just watched it, maybe you watched it a few days ago. So we know a few things right now. We know that Mary is having a hard time because her dad is home from prison. We know that she hasn't told her best friend about this because the last time she did, her family called Mary's social worker, which she doesn't want to happen. We also know that because her mom and dad fight a lot in the morning, that Mary is having a hard time in science class, her first class of the day, which is her favorite. We know that she is failing. She failed her last test. And her teacher and her principal are both a little worried about what's going on because she was doing so well earlier in the school year. We also meet Kip Dwyer, who is the class clown, who makes a joke at the beginning to kind of help Mary out. And then at the end of the chapter, he sees her at the cliffs, which are going to be a recurring setting in this for both of them, where he asks her if she's okay. So those are the things that happened in chapter 1. And now I'm going to start with chapter 2. I lost my page. I was going to do this earlier. Okay. Chapter 2. Joan of Arc was born into war. For almost 70 years, the French and the English had fought. England wanted French land, and France wanted independence. But their king was unfit to rule. It was a time of great unrest. When Joan was 3, a great battle ensued in the north. The French were defeated by the English and the traitorous Burgundians in northern France. The loss was staggering and embarrassing. A treaty was signed declaring the King of England the ruler of France. France was devastated. Joan lived on the border between the still feuding factions. Although under Burgundian rule, her town was loyal to the French crown. They hated the English. They wanted freedom. Fights and skirmishes broke out in her village. The roads outside of town were unsafe. Bandits and thieves attacked travelers, and when the church bells would sound an alarm, Joan's father, the leader, would guide the villagers to the safety of a nearby castle. The enemy could strike at any moment. Chapter 2. On Wednesday, I oversleep because my parents are arguing all night. I'm late to school, my 20th tardy of the year. I burst into the science lab. The whole class turns to look at me, but no one's in their regular seats. "Pick a partner, Mary," Mr. Fenn says. He hands me a pink packet. The STEM project. How could I have forgotten? If I can just get my grade up, everyone will stop asking me questions, and I can be a normal 8th grader. Usually I work with Kathleen since we sit next to each other, but she's sitting on the other side of the room with one of the drama kids. So I stand there staring at my options, my heart still pounding from my rush to school. "Fenn, she can work with me," Kip yells. "Watson is dead to me." He nudges his friend Ben Watson out of the seat to his left until he plummets to the ground. Kip isn't exactly the best pick to help me salvage my science existence. I don't know what his grades are, but they can't be good. He barely pays attention. He has to stay for lunch detention in Fenn's class almost every day, but I don't see how I have any other choice. He grins up at me when I walk over to his table. "Please don't mention yesterday. Please don't ask me if I'm okay." I sit and smack the packet down on the cool black tabletop. "Are you going to work hard?" I ask. "Yes." "Are you? Because I really need a good grade on this." "I promise," he says. Kip slaps his palm to his chest against the pocket of his white dress shirt. "I can't wait to do a project with you. It's going to be great." I just stare at his freckles. Why? Why is he excited about this? I'm not sure, but at least he's not talking about yesterday. I shake my head and turn my attention to the assignment. We could explain light reflection. We could manipulate heat energy. We could build an electrical current. And now I remember that earlier in the week, Mr. Finn showed us projects from last year. A group had built a mechanical claw like at an arcade. That sounds like more fun than measuring light and shadows. I like building things, I say. Do you? He leans forward. I don't just like building things. I love building things. We could build Noah's Ark. I roll my eyes and look at him. Some of the Our Lady girls think he's cute. Cute but immature. He never has girlfriends. Why are you... I don't understand. This is the most we've talked since we were 6, remember? 6? He frowns. No, I definitely remember trying to hold your hand in 4th grade. That's not talking, is it? No way, I was too scared to talk to you. Too pretty. Is he making fun of me? I cross my arms. Anyway, you can't just grab someone's hand. You have to ask them first. I mumble. Okay? The next time I want to hold someone's hand, I'll ask. Good, I say. I have no idea whether he's talking about me or not, and I also don't know if I want him to be. We are both very quiet. Too quiet. It's awkward, but my chest feels light for the first time in days. I scowl and read the instructions again. My best bet is to make something. Last year for the science fair, I made an oyster filtration system, and it was the most fun I've ever had in school. We're not building the Ark, I tell him, but we could build a boat, or a motor, or something with water. I glance out the window at a big white fishing boat, buoyant and bobbing on the surface, so vulnerable and exposed, one hull, one blemish, and it sinks to the bottom of the sea. But there is one kind of ship that controls its buoyancy and spites gravity, one ship that can rise and rise and rise, even if it falls. We could build a submarine, I say, like the display at the Marine Museum. There's a German submarine at the bottom of the bay, the Black Panther. We learned about it at the wreck site. We could make a model, like a remote-controlled one. I've seen videos online. Perfect! Kip leans back in his chair and stretches his arms behind his head. Fenster! Mr. Finn mumbles to himself and walks over to our table. What is it, Mr. Dwyer? He asks, his voice dry. He rubs his head with his wrinkly tie. You're so strange, Finn, but I love you. I really do. That's not what I wanted to say. Kip clears his throat. Sir, would you hold my hand? I promised Murphy I would ask permission. Mr. Finn drops his tie and sighs. He ignores Kip and asks me, did you pick a project? I nod. A submarine? Can we make a remote-controlled sub? Good choice, our teacher says. Oh, and I'll see you both for lunch detention, he adds, walking back to the front of the classroom. I groan at the back of his crumpled shirt. Murphy's Law, Mary, Finn offers from his desk. Whatever can go wrong will. I've never heard of it, but it sure makes sense. I glower at Kip. You told me you were going to work hard. I am, he says. I promise. I'll see you at lunch. He smiles, and one blue eye disappears into a wink. Like we are instant friends, like Jell-O, just add water. Okay, that was chapter 2, and I will see you in a few days to read chapter 3. Bye.